Hello and welcome to Affinity. We're going to do now a little bit of art. I'm just going to use the Posterize and the blur approach to create an image that's kind of artistic based on a portrait. So let's start off. I'm going to go to the stock here and search for this person, and we'll get an image from here. This one, because it's got a little bit of contrast, and thank you very much to the author there. So what we'll do with this is go back to layers and go back to Posterize to start off with. So adjustments and to, where is it? There it is, Posterize. You can see with Posterize what it does, it breaks it down into kind of layers of colour, and based on, I think, luminosity. But it keeps white, there's black, and then there's four colours there, so it's four colours there in between the black and the white, which are also included. If we drag this upwards, it quickly gets more and more layers until eventually it's hardly visible. What you do get in it, you can see in the background, you get banding here where there are colours very close together. But we're going to go here, we can type into there, I'm actually going to go to 5. And the reason for 5 is because there's a number of layers, but they are kind of separated. You can see them, and this is part of the design I want to produce. So to kind of smooth this out and get rid of that pixelation in here, I'm going to put a blur underneath it. So go to Live Filters, the Gaussian blur, and you see turn the radius up. Those edges smooth and soften and so on. You get this effect around the edge. Just click on Preserve Alpha and that gets rid of that. And if you go all the way to the top, you get kind of this is a Picasso-style image, if you like, or one of those sort of abstract ones. We're not going to be quite as abstract as that, so we come down to round about the 20 mark. Doesn't need to be exactly it. And here we have kind of another image that we can produce that does this. We can also, with this, put another one on top of here, so put it above the Posterize. To select that, by the way, it's easy to click on the name. It doesn't bring up that adjustment box, which you do if you click on the icon. So I'm going to go to Adjustments and Black and White here, and then you can here adjust it any way you like. But here I'm just going to leave that in the middle, and that gives that effect there. Because this is now scale graded from white to black, you can, if you want to, also, and here's another thing that you can do, is to go to the adjustments and put in a gradient map. A gradient map now goes from the black to white across here, so the red is at the black end, then across here to the white, which is at the blue end. If I drag out here, I'll do a simple one, so I've only got one spot either end. So for black, I'm going to do a kind of teal. So this is going to be sort of on the blue side of cyan here, and you get a straight line on here. So 1, 2, and I'll do them 3 because it's just slightly darker there, because you have red at the bottom, blue at the top, and green halfway between them, and that gives you a teal. But that's for the shadows. But I'm going to go to the other end there, click on that so the circle gets a little bit bigger, and do the same sort of thing for orange. So I'll click on the lighter orange up here, and let's just do a kind of a stronger orange for the light. So again, the middle one is halfway, so red at the top, blue at the bottom, and green kind of halfway in the middle. So you can see there the effect you've got. So now I've got a kind of stylized one. So without it, I've got this, the black and white, and with it, I've got colour. So that's kind of interesting as well. You can add more points to that colour, and you can have actually every section in here to be a different colour. Let's undo that. So that's another way of producing it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these, I'm going to shift click to the bottom, Control G to put them into a group, and call this the Posterize group. I want to put above here just another copy of this, because what I'm going to do is find the edges on this and draw a line around those, which makes it more cartoon effect. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to go to well, let's right click it. Can I do a merge visible? There it is, merge visible. Or via the layer menu, it does the same thing. So this puts a pixel layer above with the same picture in. So now I can get this. Going to go to filters and detect edges. So because it's a black and white image, I got black and white ones here. I can invert that. Right click, can I invert it from there? Now I could do it, but if I'm not sure, layer invert, I can do it from over there. So now I got black on white lines, but those lines are going to be a little bit fine. I'd like them to be a bit thicker. So let's just come in here a bit so I can see a number of the lines. And a way to make this thicker is, first of all, we're going to add a blur. So go to the live filters and Gaussian blur and turn that blur up. And this spreads it, although it makes it more grey. So now I want to bring that back to black. And so I'm going to go to adjustments and levels. And you see there, here's where all the information is, all the way up here near the white. So I can just bring the bottom up with the black. And as I bring that up, the line gets blacker and blacker until, as I actually go into this, it becomes even more black up here. There's a bit of fuzz on the lines there. Maybe it's a bit on the wide side. I can go to the Gaussian blur here and turn this down, and that'll actually get a bit sharper and thinner, so I can adjust that width of that line through that blur there. So now I've got a reasonable line. So I hit Control 0. Now I've got the lines that I want, and I can always go back and change those as well. And so I click on the top one, shift click on the bottom one, Control G for a group, click on that and call that lines. Now I want to project this onto the one here, and I just want the lines to appear. So I go to the blend mode and go down to darken. You can actually look at what happens with the other ones here, but I'm just going to take that darken and that'll do. I could also open this up now, and I can take off the black and white adjustment and I can have it in colour. Or I can go to the gradient map and start changing the colours. I could start putting in colours here. So maybe let's try them just different colours that I go along here. And let's say make that one a purple. And as you do this, if you do the same number of colours that you've got layers across here, so this is 5, but 5 inside, so we'll just spread them out when we get to them. So let's do another one, say maybe a slightly darker one here. So I know it's a lighter one because it's getting towards light, isn't it? So I'll make this more of a light red and make that one there. There we go. And then do this one more of a light yellow. So here you can see the colours going lighter from the whites to the darks, but it's a lot more coloured. So you can do that kind of thing as well. And you can put the black and white on, then I've got those edges a lot clearer as well. So the gradient map is now going on top of that black and white, so I've got more colour within that. So there's a lot of things you can do to create this. Let's just do one more thing with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these two together. So shift click that and Control G again, so I've got everything in a group. And the reason for this is I'm going to put a mask on top. So I click on the mask here. And now this is white, but I can now punch all the way through this by painting it black. So I go to a paintbrush tool here and make sure I've got black down here. And 100% opacity is fine. And now with the eye, where's the eye here? Here's the eye. And I can paint around the eye. I could have the eye kind of poking through. It's gone too far. I just paint white, click on that to change the white. Or you can actually hit the X key to do that, which is a quicker tip. And I can have the white coming through. So that's kind of an interesting approach. Or I can even go closer in and just get the pupil. So I'm bringing those black lines in around here. So I'm painting back here, because remember I'm painting just on the mask, so I'm not destroying anything. So here you've got that eye coming through, which is a little bit more weird. Okay, you can play with this, but as you can see, you can get all kinds of really interesting effects. So that's it for now, and thank you very much for watching.